Hello, everybody. I'm at the Modiphus stand. We've caught up with Chris. So many cool things to talk about. Everybody is super excited. Star Trek, Fallout.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how's things going?
It's been a busy day already. There's a lot of people coming up asking about Fallout and Star Trek, especially the Borg Cube that we just unveiled. So it's
only Friday, so you know that's just going to get crazier.
Yeah, I think we're all going to lose our voices saying what we can say about it. So
what can we say about it so far?
Well, we can talk a bit about it. You know, well, Star Trek, obviously, we had the Borg Cube unveiled this week, which is our big collector's edition, and we go on pre-order on Thursday, on the 8th. So you've got just a few days to get ready, and it's going to have the core book and the first miniature sets, the Borg Cube, and the dice to order. And we've got a big announcement on StarTrek.com on the 7th.
Ooh, pay attention to that on the 7th.
Yeah, so that's going to be more news about the pre-order and stuff that's coming through, and some big names that are getting involved as well.
That sounds really good.
Stuff, yeah, and and you'll be able to pre-order in shops as well. So you'll be able to go into your local gaming store and pre-order the range as well. And we're going to be shipping in August.
Okay.
And if you're at Gen Con, there's going to be a giant pile of Star Trek books.
Oh boy, this is why we love Gen Con.
Yeah, it's always a great show. So and that's where you'll first be able to buy it, and then it'll be actually in stores just at the end of August or first week of September.
Very cool, very cool. Well, those renders of the minis that we got to see this week are spectacular. I think people are really excited having something tangible from the universe.
They're really excited. I mean, you haven't even seen, I just saw the render of Lore the other day. He's holding Data's head with a really cheeky smile. And it looks really awesome. We've got a Khan being sculpted at the moment. So we're doing a whole set of villains as well. And we've got like a generic away team.
Oh, perfect. That was like the biggest comment that we kept seeing.
Like, oh, can I play the aliens? Yes. So we've got a set of 4 different alien races, male and female, in an away team set for Next Generation. You've got Borg drones coming. You've got Cardassians. You've got etc., all the obvious ones, and they're really beautiful. They've all got scenic bases, and they're in really, really high quality resin. They're easy to put together, so they're not complicated figures. And even the scenic bases have little plugs in on the feet, so you can position them. I hate figures that you've got to stand them up and balance them, and I can't cope. So we really wanted to make it really gorgeous figures. They're in sets of 8, and we've got these beautiful deck plans coming as well from Starfleet, and then Klingons, Romulans, Lost Colonies. So they're all geomorphic deck plans as well.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
And there's a miniatures side to the game. So our role-playing game doesn't need miniatures, but of course everyone.
But why not have them, right?
Yeah, and everyone loves them, and I love them too. So we've got a stripped-down version of the role-playing game that lets you play quick, fun, awaiting miniature game battles. So if it's just like you and me and the rest of the gaming group hadn't turned up, you could say, all right, I'll be Captain Picard in the crew, you take some Klingons, do a boarding action, and it'll play in like an hour, and we have some fun, and
that sounds great. That'll be so much fun.
Yeah.
All right, so Fallout, spill the beans as much as you can.
There's so much. I mean, we've been working on it since October. We've got about 40 of the figures sculpted. Bar one, every single one went straight through approvals. The only one was the Sentry Bot, which is the designer Bethesda's favorite Sentry Bot. So we just had to tweak the head. The head wasn't quite perfect.
But you know what's great? That means it is going to look exactly like everybody wants it to look, like we expect it to look. Exactly. So they'll love it.
The whole team are super Fallout fans and played the game to death. We've had some really, really amazing sculptors working on it. I can tell you now, Gail Gorman, who's like real legendary French sculptor, he's actually doing Liberty Prime at the moment, which is, I don't know how big, it's going to be like this big, and because
why not?
Because Liberty Prime. And I've always wanted to do a game. I've been playing Fallout since 1, 2, Brotherhood of Steel, and I've always felt there was a game in it, and now I had a games company. I got talking to Bethesda. I've been chatting to them before when I used to do t-shirts, and I said, guys, come on, let's do a really awesome miniatures game, and we showed them some concepts, and they loved it. So we're in beta testing on the rules. There's a closed team, about sort of 25 groups testing the hell out of it at the moment. And if you like Mordheim, if you like Necromunda, you're going to love this game because it's got the crew building, it's got the campaign leveling up, but also you can have more units, so you can have up to like 30 figures in the base game. I could just take one guy, I could take Soul Survivor and Dog Meat and walk around. I could play solo against the game,
nice.
Just explore for caps, for gear, or I could just have a fun battle against an AI force, or we can play off against each other, player versus player. There's tournament rules. We can also play co-op against the game. We might go, let's have Brotherhood of Steel as the bad guys. We'll play the survivors together, and the game will run itself against us. There's a basic starter box, which actually we just started talking about this week. We did a big survey, about 7,000 people replied, and I'm a big believer in knowing what you want to do, but I also don't believe that we know everything. So I think it's really important to, especially with war games, to listen to the fan base. So we really wanted to find out what type of game they were hoping it was going to be, which factions they were most interested in. Brotherhood of Steel rules.
Now, were comments all over the place, or do you feel like people were kind of coming out with the same sort of request?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of what I expected from seeing there's a lot of talk in the community, and I pretty much read all the comments on our pages and in the community and try and keep ahead of it. So, the factions that people were wanting was kind of roughly what we expected. There's a huge fan base for Fallout 1 and 2, as well as Las Vegas and Fallout 3 and 4. Fallout 4 is where we're starting because it's got the biggest range. It's in all the shops. It's what the stores know. So about getting it, we obviously want to get it out to as many stores as possible. And it's just got a giant number of figures and characters to work with. So, we've got Super Mutants, Brotherhood of Steel, the Institute, Raiders, and the Survivors is a more kind of general faction, because it's like when you play Fallout 4, you've got your little Sanctuary Hills community that is a bunch of people hanging out with shotguns, and so you'll have your generic survivors, you'll have Preston Garvey, Mama Murphy, Sturgis, Ronnie, your Soul Survivor, male or female, and Dog Meat in various versions, and you'll be able to get some Minutemen, you'll be able to get some more Vault Dwellers, you'll be able to get some like Riley's Rangers, all the various neutral factions that you can get on your side. There's a lot of characters. So in the survey, people were saying they didn't just want to have one leader, they want to pretty much fill out their force with a lot of characters. So, we've tweaked some of the release schedules to bring forward a lot more of the character releases.
Nice.
Because we think people are going to be rocking around their tabletop with 4, 5, maybe 10 different characters, And the game has 2 levels. So every unit there's a unit card for a Brotherhood of Steel in T60 power armor, a Super Mutant with a shotgun. So you can have 3, 4, 5, 6 Super Mutants with shotguns as a unit, or just one. But you could make him a character, and you just add a character card next to him, which gives you access to the advanced rules. Oh. So effectively, characters use advanced rules, and that lets them roll a special dice, which gives them extra actions. It lets them do much more unusual stuff in the game. And every single figure has got special stats, because that's what Fallout is about. You've got special stats. So every single figure can hack, can use its charisma to try and win over a new neutral survivor, or bully them into joining you. Could try and repair something. So you can be as detailed or as undetailed with the game as you want. You could play a whole battle with 30 figures, all at grunt level, maybe one leader, and so you can play a much quicker game. Or you could go really super detailed and have 5 or 6 characters, right, using all advanced rules.
And make it very narrative that way, I would imagine.
And I'm a big war gamer. I started off with Steve Jackson's Ogre, the little Hex war game when I was 8. I graduated to English Civil War, Napoleonic 15 mil. I was collecting all the old 28 mil crappy fantasy figures when I was 12, 13, and wrote my own fantasy war game with them. And then I've just done war games all my life. Airfix Battles was a product of me coming up with my own rules with my buddy when we were 8. And So, you know, I really miss in a lot of war games over the years is having more than just okay, there's an objective in the middle, whoever gets it first, or this is a meeting battle, or this is a defensive battle. So we're going to have that for people who don't want to waste their time, but for those who want a lot more meat, we've got lots of narrative missions. So there'll be a very a little sort of mini learning campaign in the first box, and then you'll be able to get narrative missions that take you through a storyline. And we're going to be drawing on stories from the different Fallout games and news stories, and the events of each mission will have an effect on the next mission you play. Your crew is going to be growing as you get more caps, and you'll be able to make decisions that add to your base. And so you're adding workbenches or resources that affect you on the tabletop. You'll be adding new perks that affect your crew. And then we're bringing out a campaign box that explodes the campaign level of the game, settlement building, so you can actually build your settlement. The base game comes with a flavor of everything. There's just enough cards to do a solo game, but every box of figures you buy comes with more solo activation cards and more Wasteland encounter cards. So as you're exploring the Wasteland, you can find more variety. And you've got enough unit cards to get you going. And then, of course, as every box you buy comes with the unit cards you need.
Timing-wise, when are we talking? Or can we say yet?
We're looking for November. We're going to be showcasing the game at Gen Con.
There it is again. There it is again.
Love Gen Con. And at Essen.
Nice.
And we might have copies at Essen to buy, but we're really aiming for November in store. And you'll be able to pre-order around July, maybe August, for delivery in October.
Cool.
And it's just pre-order, it's not Kickstarter, so it's all pre-order on our store and in retailers. Same thing with Star Trek, it's pre-order on our store and in retail as well. So.
Well, exciting stuff, Chris. It's always nice chatting with you.
Yeah.
So much coming down the pipe, so make sure you stay tuned for a lot more, guys, and we will catch up with you later.
Thank you. Yeah, cheers. Thanks.